There's a reason why some businesses are successful and others are not. There's a reason why some people live extraordinary lives and other people don't. And it has everything to do with energy. There's no such thing as luck. There is always a reason behind every outcome that you see in life. So we're going to cover the ETA framework that explains why some ideas are successful and some ideas are not. The E stands for energy. Everything starts with energy, the energy that you are embodying. When you're in a certain energy, let's say that's joy or anxiety, whatever it is, that is the soil for the different ideas that you have to grow in. If an idea is a seed that's planted in the soil, then the energy that you embody is that soil. For example, if you feel anxiety and the energy around you is anxiety, the soil that you would be planting your thoughts into would be soil of anxiety. Anxiety is not fertile ground for a successful business. Anxiety is not fertile ground for a solid relationship. Anxiety is not fertile ground for health. So if you feel anxious, that's the E, energy, is anxiety, and the thought, the T of ETA is thought, then your thoughts might be, okay, let me start a new business because I'm anxious about money. There's nothing wrong with wanting to start a new business. There's nothing wrong with wanting to start a side hustle. The problem is that thought will get planted in the soil of anxiety, which is not fertile ground for that tree to grow. And if it does grow, it's going to have anxiety all wrapped up in its DNA. So the fruits of that business might cause more anxiety down the line for reasons unseen. The A in ETA stands for action. Action is you watering the seed, which is your thought, in the soil, which is your energy. So if you feel anxious about money, and the thought comes into your mind, oh, I want to start a new business so that I make more money. And then you take action on starting that new business, you are completing the framework, ETA, by planting your thought, which is a thought of scarcity, to start a new business in the soil, which is your energy field, which is anxiety, and then you're watering it by probably taking massive anxious action. Or what might even be worse was you're hardly taking action because you have so much anxiety. So this can go a few different ways. You can obviously transcend the energy eventually, but it's a struggle. It's not going to be like an easy overnight success. It's going to be one of those really long processes where you're building this tree is growing that is your new business, and inside the DNA of the tree is anxiety. So it's going to take a lot to work through and get all the anxiety out of that business. It's possible, but that's what I would call the hard way to do it. The better thing to do, in my opinion, is to change your energy before you indulge any thoughts or before you take any action. Now, in Vipassana meditation, which comes from the Buddhic tradition, straight from the Buddha, it talks about not indulging your thoughts at all. You just observe them, but you don't indulge them, and they pass through like a cloud. The wisdom in this, for our analogy, is that if you're feeling anxious, or any energy for that matter, if you feel fear, anxiety, or the good ones, joy, gratitude, your mind listens to your energy and then tries to justify it. So if you feel anxious, your thoughts will start trying to find reasons to feel anxious. And if you've ever noticed this, oftentimes when you are anxious, you're worrying about something, and then your mind will just jump to something completely different and just start worrying about that. Because if you feel anxious, your mind listens and says, oh, we must be worried about something. Let's figure out what to worry about. If you feel joy, your mind's going to be like, oh, what can I be joyful about? So the mind is a follower, not a leader. And what I encourage you to do is, if you are in a low frequency state, fear, anxiety, whatever that is, Take a moment to meditate and tune into yourself so that you can simply hold space for that emotion. The emotion's not bad. It's some part of you that wants to express something. Listen to it, hold it, be with it. And just by simply feeling it in its entirety, it will pass. Don't go into your head and start trying to figure out reasons why you should feel that way. Just allow the feeling to come and go. Our default state, our default energy is joy. So all other feelings that we have are on top of the feeling of joy. And if you give those other emotions space and you hold them, they will pass through and you'll be back to your natural state, which is joy. Now imagine you're in the energy of joy and a thought pops in your head like, what if I start a new business? That energy of joy is the right kind of soil for that business to just absolutely explode out of the gate. So even though the anxious you and the joyful you might come up with the same business idea, one of them has the energetic soil that is very conducive for that growing into an overnight success, and the other does not. So then if you're watering those seeds, of course, the joyful energy is going to blossom into a beautiful tree, and the anxious one is going to blossom into some strange creature of a tree. The other thing I want to draw your attention to is when you have a feeling, like let's say you're anxious, and you have a thought, but maybe you don't take action on that thought. Maybe you plant a seed in your energetic soil, but you don't take immediate action. That seed is there. So then later in time, when you are taking action, it's the equivalent to you watering that seed a lot later. It can still grow when you're not even expecting it to or remembering it, which is why sometimes people have these compound negative experiences because of a past series of thoughts that they have planted in the energy field of fear or anxiety or whatever. And then all of a sudden, they all get watered by some event that happens in your life. The same thing can be with joy and gratitude. Some people, suddenly everything just explodes in a wonderful way, and you're like, wow, how is everything popping off right now? Because they've been planting those seeds for a long time, and some event in their life impulsed them to finally take the action, which is equivalent to watering the seeds that then all start growing into a beautiful forest, hopefully in the joy scenario. So the takeaway is this: when you're in a low frequency state, focus on changing your state before you indulge any thoughts or take any action. Of course, we're talking about non-life-threatening situations. I'm not saying if there's a tiger about to jump on you that to just sit and meditate. Respond accordingly to life as is necessary. But if you're just perpetually afraid or anxious or something's going on, before you just launch into a new business or a new partnership or a new life, take a moment to tune into yourself first and change your state. And from there, maybe you're going to take the same action. Maybe you even have the same thoughts, but that energetic soil will be conducive to those thoughts actually turning into the results that you want. The best way to change your state, in my opinion, is a meditation practice. You sit with your feelings. Don't do a guided meditation. Just sit with your feelings. Feel them in their entirety and just listen to what they're trying to tell you. There's intelligence in your emotions. If you're angry at something, what is it trying to tell you? Just listen to it, acknowledge it, hold it, and then let it go. And it will pass. And once it passes, you'll be in your default joy state. If meditation isn't working for you, you can try the Tony Robbins method, which is literally find a song you like that amps you up and gets you in a hype, joyful state, and just dance your ass off. Just go crazy dancing, vibing to that song until you have changed your state. So you can try the meditation method or the Tony Robbins method. They both work great, and you can do both of them, which is what I do. Next time you're about to launch into a new business or make a huge life change, make sure that your energy is at the right frequency first. And remember the ETA Framework: energy, the soil; thoughts, the seeds; action, watering those seeds in that soil. ETA, energy, thoughts, action. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe.